The stars shone cold and distant in the empty space beyond the outer rim of the Zern Empire. Commander Vesh stood on the bridge of the warship Arcanus, his many eyes scanning the holographic display in front of him. The fleet of ships behind him waited like obedient hunters, sleek and dangerous. Today, they were hunting a target the Zern had been curious about for some time, a human battleship. Vesh's antenna twitched in irritation as a young officer reported the incoming data. Commander, scans show a single human vessel approaching the Loran system. Its hull is old, but the engines are strong. It carries advanced weapons, but nothing unusual. Vesh laughed, a deep sound that echoed through the bridge. Nothing unusual? These creatures are primitive. They barely left their own solar system before. A single ship? This is a toy. Draal, take a mid-level strike group and teach them how war is fought. High Commander Draal, a tall, rigid alien with armored limbs, saluted. It will be done, Commander. The humans will fall in moments. Vesh's eyes narrowed. Do not underestimate them. They are unpredictable, yes, but remember they are weak. We crush, we move on. Nothing more. Meanwhile, far from the Zern fleet, the human battleship Liberty glided silently through the same system. Its metal skin was scratched and dented, a testament to years of service. Inside, Captain John Carter stood on the bridge, watching the stars pass by. He was calm, measured, and very aware of the danger surrounding him. Beside him, First Officer Lisa Morgan adjusted her display screens. Her dark hair fell over her shoulders as she scanned the approaching star maps. Captain, our sensors picked a small fleet at the edge of the Loran system. It's hard to read them fully. The energy signatures are high, but their patterns are unusual. Carter nodded. We know it's coming. Keep our shields ready. Eric, check weapons status. Tactical Officer Eric Scott smirked and tapped the console. All guns green. Ready to make some sparks, sir. Hope they like surprises. Communications Officer Megan Lewis spoke softly from her station. Captain, I am picking up transmissions from the aliens. They are demanding we surrender the station at Loran 5. It seems they have no intention to wait. Carter frowned. No, we will not surrender civilians. Laura, how many are still on the station? He asked over the secure line. Dr. Laura King's voice trembled slightly through the comms. Captain, we have about 60 personnel left. Most are researchers, a few families. Evacuation is underway, but the Zern are moving fast. If they attack now, we could lose many. Carter clenched his jaw. We will protect them. Get everyone ready for evacuation. We have time, but not much. Back on the Zern warship, Draal prepared his fleet for battle. He had 4 cruisers and 8 destroyers under his command. The alien ships were sleek and deadly, equipped with energy cannons that could tear through most human armor. Draal watched the human vessel on his display, its hull small and scarred. He could not hide his contempt. Look at this, he hissed to his officers. One ship against us. It is laughable. We will show them the meaning of war. The aliens were confident, arrogant even. They did not know the humans had survived countless battles against enemies that were stronger, faster, or smarter. They did not know humans adapted in ways no alien species could imagine. On the Liberty, Carter gave orders quietly. All stations, remain calm. Shields up, weapons ready, but do not fire unless we must. Lisa, find the safest approach to the station. We will use the storms near the gas giant as cover. The research station orbited a massive gas giant, its swirling storms filled with static electricity and violent winds. Laura's people moved quickly, loading civilians into shuttles. Technicians helped families, scientists carried important research data, and children clutched their parents' hands. Fear was heavy in the air. Captain, we can't get everyone out fast enough, Laura said, her voice tight. They will be here before the last shuttle leaves. Carter's gaze stayed on the screens. Then we hold. Keep calm. We have tricks the Zern do not expect. As the first Zern ships entered the system, Draal smiled. He had chosen the simplest plan, overwhelm the humans with firepower. He expected the Liberty to flee or surrender. When the alien fleet moved in, their weapons glowing blue in the distance, he sent a single transmission. Humans, surrender now. Give up the station and your ship. Resistance is meaningless. Megan translated the message aloud. Carter did not reply immediately. He watched the approaching fleet and waited for the right moment. Then he spoke calmly. We cannot surrender the station. We will defend our people, but we offer no hostility if you do not attack. Draal's antennas twitched in anger. They dare respond? Fire the warning volley. Blue beams of energy tore through space, streaking past the research station. Alarms screamed inside the Liberty. Carter barked orders. Shields up. Evasive maneuvers. Eric grinned tightly. They have no idea what we can do. Watch this. The Liberty moved toward the gas giant storms. The swirling clouds made sensors difficult to read. Zern weapons, designed for clear space battles, struggled to track the human ship. Carter's crew used this to their advantage. Now, Lisa, Carter said. The Liberty fired a short, precise volley at the closest Zern destroyer, timing it with a lightning strike in the storm. The destroyer's shields flickered, then failed. The ship exploded in a brilliant flash. Draal froze, his pride wounded. How did they do that? Unknown weapon pattern. One officer said nervously. They hide in the storm. Their attack came with the lightning. Another whispered. Draal single quotes as face darkened. It cannot be. Adjust formation. Crush them anyway. But the Liberty was gone, hidden in the storm, using the natural chaos as armor. Megan tracked Zern transmissions, noting confusion in the enemy fleet. Carter watched the tactical display. He knew the key was patience and creativity. A direct fight would be costly, but the Zern had shown their weakness. They expected predictable moves. Humans were anything but predictable. Back on the station, Laura coordinated the evacuation. Shuttles lifted off one by one, moving toward the Liberty. Children screamed as the first blasts of Zern energy hit nearby. Technicians and scientists prayed silently as their equipment shook. Keep going. Carter shouted over the comms. We will hold them. Get everyone out. The Zern sent a small wing of attack craft toward the station. Draal assumed the humans would break formation to protect civilians. Instead, Carter's plan worked perfectly. The shuttles used storm clouds for cover, while the Liberty fired decoy drones and electromagnetic pulses. Several Zern fighters flew straight into the clouds, unable to distinguish friend from enemy. One by one, they were destroyed or forced to retreat. Draal's antennas twitched with fury. What is this? The humans. They fight differently. They are clever. No, impossible. Carter's crew worked in silence, focused on the ship and the mission. Engineer Rachel Mills monitored power flows and cramped Carter's, while Jason Clark in engineering rerouted energy to shields and weapons. Every crew member knew the stakes. They were not just defending a station, they were defending the idea of human resilience. As the first day of battle ended, the Liberty was scratched but intact. Several Zern ships had been lost, and the aliens were growing nervous. Carter looked at the tactical display and realized this was only the beginning. Draal's fleet was mid-level. A larger, more dangerous force could arrive at any moment. The human crew had survived, but they had only bought time. In the quiet moments after the battle, Carter walked the bridge. He spoke softly to Lisa and Eric. They think they know war. They do not. Humans fight with more than firepower. We fight with creativity, with courage, and with the will to protect those who cannot defend themselves. Remember that. It is what makes us strong. The stars outside the windows seem colder now, but the human battleship floated through them with quiet defiance. Below, the gas giant storms swirled endlessly, hiding the Liberty from its enemy. Above, the Zern fleet struggled to understand what had happened. A single ship had held its own, and the aliens began to doubt everything they thought they knew about war. The battle was not over, but humanity had already made its first mark on the Zern. One ship, one crew, one stubborn captain enough to make the universe pause and take notice. And somewhere in the distance, Draal whispered to himself, shaking his armored limbs, these humans. They are not like the others. They are dangerous. The next morning, the Loran system was quiet, but the calm was only temporary. The Zern fleet remained at the edge of the gas giant storm clouds. repairing damaged ships and reorganizing their formation. Dral's face was dark with anger and frustration. One small human ship had outsmarted his fleet and destroyed multiple Zern vessels. He could not believe it. How is this possible? Dral hissed at his officers. They are weaker, slower, and smaller. Yet they survive. They strike like predators from shadows. They should have been easy. One officer spoke nervously. Commander, perhaps. They are clever, but they are only one ship. We have numbers. We can crush them if we attack together. Dral's antennas twitched. Numbers alone will not save us. The humans, they do not fight like we do. But we will adapt. We must. Prepare the fleet. Today, we end this. Meanwhile, on the Liberty, Captain Carter studied the Zern fleet from the bridge. The storm clouds around the gas giant were thick and dangerous, but they were also his shield. The Liberty could hide and strike from angles the Zern did not expect. He turned to Lisa. We cannot stay hidden forever, he said. They will adjust. We need a plan that makes them think we are many, not one. Lisa nodded. We can use the storm to our advantage. We can set traps, create false signals. They will see ghosts where there are none. Eric smirked. I like the idea of ghosts. Makes them jumpy. Ghosts and shadows. Megan leaned forward. I am intercepting their communications. They are repairing, yes, but I also see fear. Dral's officers argue constantly. They do not understand how we struck from the storm. Carter nodded. Good, we use that. Prepare weapons. Make ready all decoys. Rachel, I want the engine tuned for sudden bursts. Jason, reinforce the shields along the starboard side. We will need them. In the gas giant storms, lightning flashed, illuminating the swirling clouds. The Liberty moved silently, almost invisible. Zern ships scanned the region with their energy sensors, but the storm made readings unreliable. The humans used this to hide their movements. Target acquired, Eric said suddenly. Small strike craft heading to the station. They think they can finish the evacuation before we act. Carter's jaw tightened. Let them come. Lisa, lock the secondary batteries. Ready the decoys. We will make them pay for every step they take. The first wave of Zern fighters flew into the storms. Their energy weapons cut through clouds, but they could not see the Liberty or the shuttles clearly. Megan monitored their signals and smiled quietly. The Zern thought they were attacking humans directly, but the humans had created false energy signatures around empty regions of the storm. The Zern ships fired at phantoms, wasting shots and losing pilots. Look at them panic, Eric said, barely hiding his grin. They have never seen a storm fight back before. Carter did not smile. He focused on the tactical map. Every move had to be precise. The station shuttles were still loading, and the humans could not lose a single one. Laura King guided the last shuttle toward the Liberty. Her hand shook, but she stayed calm. All civilians aboard, she reported. We are ready for departure. Good, Carter said. Set course for rendezvous. Shields up, weapons ready. We will cover them. The Zern realized too late that their attack was being tricked. Fighters flew into false sensor fields, energy beams hit nothing but clouds, and the Liberty struck unexpectedly from hidden angles. Two destroyers were disabled by railgun bursts that struck from the side, perfectly timed with flashes of lightning. What is this? Dral shouted, antennas quivering. They hide. They strike. They are everywhere and nowhere. They must be one ship, one officer said, panicked. It cannot be more. Yet, it moves like a swarm. Dral's pride burned. No, I will not retreat. All ships, focus fire. Destroy the human ship? But the humans did not fight like the Zern expected. The Liberty did not stay in one place. It darted through storm clouds, vanished, and reappeared, hitting weak points and drawing attention away from the evacuation shuttles. Every burst of fire was precise. Every movement had purpose. The Zern were skilled fighters, but they had no idea how to handle unpredictability. Inside the Liberty, the crew worked tirelessly. Rachel Mills monitored the reactor, keeping the ship running under extreme stress. Jason Clark patched small breaches in the hull as alarms flashed. Eric and Lisa coordinated weapons and shields. timing every volley with the storm's natural lightning strikes. They are adapting, Lisa said. The fleet is trying to spread out, avoid our fire. But they are too slow, Carter nodded. We have a window. Keep pressure. The shuttles are almost clear. Laura's voice came through the comms. We are clear, Captain. Civilians are safe. Good work, Carter said. Now we make sure they leave the system. Draal's fleet tried to regroup, but the storms and human tactics made formation impossible. Ships collided with debris, misfired, and overcompensated. One cruiser fired at a false energy signature, hitting a smaller allied ship instead. Confusion spread like wildfire through the fleet. This is chaos? Draal bellowed. How can one ship cause this? I do not understand. Back on the Liberty, Megan monitored Zern communications. She picked up whispers of fear and doubt. Draal's officers argued constantly. Some wanted to retreat, others insisted on more firepower. Carter realized the importance of psychological warfare. Humans could strike fear without showing strength. They could make the enemy doubt themselves, prepare the Ghost Fleet. He said quietly to Lisa and Eric, let them think more ships are here than there really are. Using data from old probes and the research station, the Liberty projected false energy signatures throughout the storms and near moons in the system. To the Zern sensors, it looked like multiple human battleships were hidden, waiting for attack. Some alien captains hesitated, unsure where to fire. They did not want to risk hitting their own ships. Draal's anger turned to panic. How? How many are there? There should be one, only one. Yet sensors show a dozen. They hide in shadows, another officer admitted, and they strike without warning. We are lost. Carter's crew pressed their advantage. The Liberty fired a short volley at a grouping of enemy destroyers, then vanished again into the storm. One by one, the Zern ships were damaged, forced to retreat, or lose cohesion. The humans were relentless, using environment, strategy, and pure creativity to survive. Laura watched from the shuttle as the alien ships flailed in the storm. I cannot believe it, she whispered. One ship, they are incredible. Carter's voice came over the comms. Remember, Laura, this is not luck. Humans survive by thinking, adapting, and protecting those who cannot protect themselves. Stay calm, keep moving. You are safe now. The Zern realized something terrifying. Their standard tactics did not work. They could not predict human movements. Every time they planned a strike, the Liberty had already changed position, attacked another target, or used the storm as a shield. For the first time in many generations, Zern officers experienced fear in space combat. Draal growled, his pride shattered. These humans, they are too clever, too fast, too unpredictable. We have only lost a few ships. One officer tried to console him. We still have numbers. Numbers do not matter. Draal shouted. They fight differently. We are not ready for this. As the first major engagement ended, the humans had achieved something remarkable. The station was evacuated, the shuttles were safe, and the Zern fleet had been damaged and confused. The Liberty was scratched, but intact, and the crew had proven that strategy, adaptability, and courage could outweigh sheer firepower. Carter walked the bridge, quietly observing his crew. Every member had done their job, and some had risked their lives to keep the ship and the shuttle safe. He looked at Lisa, Eric, Megan, and the engineers, then back at the stars. They think they know war. He said softly, they do not. Humans fight with their minds, their hearts, and their will to survive. That is something no alien can predict. In the distance, Draal watched his fleet struggle to regroup. He knew deep down that the humans had changed everything. One small battleship, one clever crew, had turned a predictable fight into a disaster for the Zern. They had learned too late that war with humans was not about rules, formations, or numbers. It was about adaptation, courage, and the unexpected dot, and in that moment, in the cold and empty space, the battle for the Loran system was won by humans not just by weapons, but by the strength of their spirit. The Loran system was quiet for only a few hours. The Zern High Command had received Draal's reports and were not pleased. They could not ignore the news of a single human ship destroying and confusing a part of their fleet. A new commander, Grand Marshal Korth, was assigned to lead the main fleet. He was cold, ruthless, and experienced in crushing rebellious civilizations. Humans must be broken. Korth said, his voice deep and harsh. They think they are clever. We will show them the true power of the Zer'n. Korth's fleet was massive. Hundreds of ships moved together, filling the void around the gas giant. Cruisers, destroyers, and carriers formed lines of deadly blue light. Their energy beams could pierce most defenses. Their shields could withstand nearly any attack, and their pilots were trained for perfect coordination. Draal's smaller fleet joined the formation, battered but eager to follow orders. He bowed slightly to Korth. Grand Marshal, the humans are dangerous. They fight unpredictably. Korth's antennae twitched. We will adjust. Fear is weakness. They must be eliminated before they spread it to others. On the Liberty, Carter studied the sensors as the massive Zer'n fleet arrived. Hundreds of ships, all perfectly aligned, all dangerous. He turned to Lisa. This is more than we expected, he said. We are one ship. They are hundreds. We must use every advantage the storm and system can give us. Lisa nodded. We can still trick them. Make them think we have more ships than we do. Create confusion. Use the storms, the moons, and our decoys. Eric scrolled through the tactical map. Hundreds against one? Sounds like fun. He smirked, but the tension was clear in his eyes. Megan monitored Zer'n communications. They are confident, but there is fear too. Korth does not trust Draal's assessment. Some of his captains are nervous. If we push them right, we can make them hesitate. Carter's gaze returned to the storm clouds. The Liberty would not fight directly. They would fight smart. Set the Ghost Fleet, he said. Double the decoys. Make them think the storm is filled with ships. Make every movement count. The humans used old probes and research station equipment to create false energy signatures. Throughout the system, the Zer'n sensors lit up with hundreds of targets. Some alien captains argued about where the real ships were. Others hesitated, afraid to fire. Korth's voice was heard through the fleet, cold and commanding. Fire at all detected targets. Eliminate them, but confusion spread. The false signals misled many ships. Some fired at empty space. Others collided with debris. The humans struck from hidden angles, carefully disabling a few Zer'n destroyers before disappearing again. Carter's voice was calm on the bridge. We are ghosts. Strike where they are weak, vanish where they are strong. We fight smart, and they will learn fear. Inside the Liberty, the crew worked like a single organism. Rachel Mills adjusted power to shields and engines, keeping the ship alive under stress. Jason Clark patched hull breaches and monitored structural integrity. Eric coordinated weapon timing with natural lightning from the gas giant storms. Lisa gave precise orders for movement, using the storm and moons as cover. Look at them panic, Eric said, pointing to the tactical display. Hundreds of ships, and they do not know where we are. It is beautiful. Carter did not smile. Focus. Our job is to survive and protect civilians. The ghosts are a tool, not a toy. Laura King monitored shuttle transmissions. All shuttles were safe now, moving away from the storm toward the Liberty. They are out of immediate danger, she reported. Thank you, Captain. Carter nodded. Good work. They are safe because humans do not abandon those who cannot protect themselves. Now we finish the trick. Korth was growing frustrated. His fleet was strong, but his ships were losing cohesion. His officers reported strange attacks, sudden destruction, and ships turning on each other accidentally. The humans seemed to appear everywhere at once. How can one ship cause this? Korth demanded. It is impossible. Draal tried to explain. Grand Marshal, they hide in the storms. They strike unpredictably. We cannot control them as we normally would. Korth's antennas twitched with anger. Do not speak of control. We will force them into a fight they cannot survive. Focus all firepower on the storms. Root them out. The humans anticipated this. Carter ordered the Liberty to move toward a narrow section of the storm, where the Zer'n could not fully align their beams. The ship darted between clouds, striking destroyers at weak points. Lightning flared in the gas giant, hiding their movements further. They used the storm itself. One Zern captain muttered in disbelief. They make nature fight with them. Inside the Liberty, Lisa watched the display carefully. They will try to flank us next. We must prepare, Carter nodded. Prepare traps. False readings, mines, decoys. They think they know where we are, but they are wrong. Always wrong. Megan intercepted Zern communications. The fear was growing. Draal's officers argued with Korth. Some wanted to retreat. Others wanted to press the attack. The humans' clever use of the storm. And the Ghost Fleet had thrown the perfect Zern coordination into chaos. They are not surrendering. One Zern officer said. And they fight with courage. No, not courage. Something else. Unpredictable will. Carter quietly addressed the bridge crew. Remember this. Humans survive because we adapt, because we use our minds, and because we care about those we protect. They cannot predict that. They are strong, but they are rigid. We are flexible. We will survive. The storm and moons gave the Liberty time and cover. They struck in short bursts, avoiding prolonged engagement. Zern ships were disabled, forced to retreat, or confused by false signals. The Ghost Fleet appeared in multiple locations at once, making the Zern think more human ships were present. Korth realized that standard tactics were failing. His pride told him he could crush the humans, but his fleet was bleeding slowly. Every time he tried to concentrate fire, the Liberty vanished and struck elsewhere. This is unacceptable, Korth roared. We are hundreds of ships. How can one vessel fight like this? Draal's antennas drooped slightly. They did not fight like the Zern. They adapt, they survive. They are not like any enemy we have known. Carter decided to push their advantage further. The Ghost Fleet was working. False signals made the Zern hesitate. The Liberty moved toward the outer edge of the storm, preparing for a daring attack. Prepare railguns, Carter ordered. Timing with lightning strikes. Take out the closest destroyers. Use the storm as cover. All decoys active. The Liberty fired in perfect timing with natural lightning. Zern destroyers exploded before they could respond. Others turned to attack decoys, wasting precious energy and time. Chaos spread through the alien fleet. What is happening? One officer asked. How can they destroy so many without being seen? Humans, Draal muttered. They are ghosts. Impossible ghosts. Carter watched the tactical display. This is not luck. This is human skill, strategy, and courage. We fight smarter, not stronger, and they will pay the cost of underestimating us. The first major wave of the main Zern fleet had been checked, but the battle was far from over. Civilians were safe, the Liberty remained intact, and the humans had proven that brains, courage, and adaptability could beat superior numbers. Lore's single quotes S voice came through comms again. Captain, the shuttles are on course for the safe zone. All personnel accounted for. Carter smiled faintly. Good. Prepare for the next wave. The ghosts are not done. Inside the Zern fleet, whispers spread among the officers. Fear, doubt, and respect for the humans began to grow. Korth had never faced an enemy like this. Draal knew he had underestimated the humans. One small ship, clever and fearless, had turned the fleet into confusion. We fight a new kind of war, Korth admitted quietly to himself. One we are not ready for. And in the storms of the gas giant, the Liberty waited, hidden and silent, ready to strike again. The humans had shown the Zern that one ship could change the battle, and that the universe would have to respect the power of human creativity, courage, and determination. The first stage of the fight was over, but the legend of the Liberty was only beginning. The Zern would learn that humans were not just another species to conquer. They were unpredictable, adaptive, and dangerous in ways no alien had expected. In the cold dark of space, the storm clouds swirled. The Ghost Fleet moved silently. The Liberty and its crew prepared for the next challenge, ready to turn fear, chaos, and strategy into victory. And somewhere, in the distant command ships of the Zern, Korth and Draal realized one thing with chilling clarity. Humans were not like any enemy they had faced before. They had learned the hard way that humans fought differently, and they would never forget it.